pause to mind a silver screen.
We're on the hunt. We're on the hunt. We're on the hunt.
Ooh, fresh air. I love all these goods provided for us by the government. Is that good?
Yeah. In summary, there are many goods and services provided for us by our government that we take for granted. These include clean air, fresh water, and even a safe environment. These three things are prime examples of goods and services provided for us by our government.
Dude, you put the one thing on my girlfriend. She ain't your girlfriend. She's my girlfriend now. No, she's not. No! Hey, hey, hey!
Many domestic conflicts arise daily within our country, including when two men fight over their girlfriend. Police forces across the United States resolve almost all these conflicts, putting their lives on the line every day.
Your Army is not just a man in uniform. Today, your Army is part of an active combination of forces for national defense and world peace, and security is not taken for granted.
The U.S. government provides us with protection. By doing so, they secure our best interests, ensure our safety, and protect our rights as citizens. They offer us this protection by our local law enforcement, even federal law enforcement. Of course, we can't forget our armed services either.
Hey, Matt, what's up, buddy? What are you doing?
I'm just filling out my W-4 tax form.
What? That's awesome. Taxes are a great way to support our government-funded economy.
The government maintains an economy to ensure our nation's prosperity. They do so by collecting taxes, which they use to stabilize and create a strong economic system. Examples of this money going to use would be welfare, public works, and many more uses.
Your Honor, my client here is not subject to the policies of sexual harassment. Based on the ruling of Farragher versus Boca Raton, it is his employer's responsibility to inform him of the subjects of sexual harassment. You cannot charge him as guilty.
Well, I am going to charge him as guilty. Life in prison.
Please tell me we got that.
Maintaining order in society is a huge part of our government's role. When issues arise that must be dealt with by our court system, the government steps in and provides a just resolution of the given problem.
Hey, Austin. Yeah. Look at these pamphlets that I just found. They're on the French market, cleaning up Adams Park, and even on the Taste of Weed. Wow. I love how the government gives us so many opportunities to be social. Me too. Wow. I love it. God bless America. God bless America.
As you can see in our example, our government socializes our citizens by having open city hall meetings, hosting public events like Christmas sharing, French markets, and Make a Difference Day, Our government is responsible to socialize and to get our citizens included in government and local activities.
Recording.
I am now.
Alright, we're about to do some interviews. First we're looking for the under 21 age group, so alright, we're gonna go find someone here. So, are you between the ages of 0 to 21?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Do you think public schools should be allowed to begin each day with a prayer if they choose?
If they choose, yeah.
Okay. Do you think the government has a responsibility to offer health care to all of its citizens?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. Do you believe that an individual should be responsible for their own well-being, so the government should make welfare recipients go to work?
I think they should be responsible unless they're rendered unable to care for themselves.
Okay, that's a good answer. Do you believe that large corporations and wealthy individuals should pay a larger burden of the tax burden?
Yeah, I think that it should be dependent upon income rates.
Yeah. And then last question, do you believe marijuana should be legal in every state for medicinal use?
For medical use, yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good. Thank you. Hey, thanks for having an interview with us. Appreciate it.
All right, we're good.
Are you between the ages of 21 to 30?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that public schools should be allowed to start the day with a prayer if they so choose?
No.
Okay. And do you think that the government has the responsibility to offer health care to all its citizens?
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe an individual should be responsible for their own well-being? Or in other words, do you think that recipients of welfare should be forced to work?
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe that large corporations or particularly wealthy individuals should pay a larger burden of the federal tax?
Yes.
And last question here. Do you believe that the use of marijuana should be illegal in every state, even if it is for medicinal use?
I don't know about that one.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
So I already asked you this, but can you confirm that you're between the ages of 31 to 50?
I am, yes.
Thank you. Do you think that public schools should be allowed to begin each day with prayer if they so choose?
I think so, yes.
And do you think that the government has the responsibility to offer health care to all their citizens?
That's a good one. Government does have the duty to take care of the citizens, so I guess some type of health care is a good idea. The question is how much, what type, that kind of thing.
Yes, of course.
But I think it has a responsibility to take care of the citizens.
Thank you. And do you believe an individual should be responsible for their own well-being, or in other words, do you think people with welfare should have to work?
Yeah, I think it's a double-edged sword. I think people should do the best they can to support themselves, support their families, not be a burden to society. But there are cases where people need a hand just to get back on their feet. And I think each case is individual. I think what happens is you can't just make it into a complete policy and just give everybody freebies, so to speak. I think it has to be seen individually. Sometimes people need a hand to get back on their feet, their circumstances in life. But it should not get out of control, definitely, where everybody expects just a free hand, just for whatever reason. I think it has to be balanced.
Right, of course. And do you believe that large corporations or wealthy individuals, do you think that they should have to pay higher taxes?
Well, let's just say if they're supposed to pay the same percentage of taxes as citizens, depending on the bracket that they fall in, they should just pay those taxes. I think the problem is that sometimes they find loopholes, and and ways to go about it and escape paying their fair share. I think if these corporations or individuals would just pay their fair share, I think it'll help a lot. It's just the problem is loopholes. People find loopholes and then they wind up not helping us have the capital we need, the government needs to, for infrastructure or whatever programs there are. The loopholes are a problem.
And last question here, do you think that marijuana should be legal in every state, even for medical use?
Well, I'm particularly against marijuana, but I know some people say they need it for medical reasons. If that is true, I guess you can make exceptions to that as long as it's proven, that there's a medical condition that requires it. But just, I'm just afraid of making it legal just for entertainment, just for pleasure and entertainment stuff. It can get out of hand. And the first question about the prayer is that I'm a believer myself, so as I come, I don't have a problem with it. I think one of the reasons we have a lot of problems in society is probably because we've lost a lot of our moral and spiritual foundations. And I'm a teacher, I teach 5th grade in West Chicago, so I see a lot of that too, where kids don't have that sort of background of morality and respect and things like that. Sometimes that's not taught in the home, and you take that away from the school completely. And we've seen a lot of problems in the last generation because there's a lack of spiritual foundations. That's just for the record.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate it.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you.
Thank you for that.
no problem.
Yeah.
And,
Alright.
good luck, and
Yeah.
hopefully you find other.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
We're good.
Are you between the age group of 31 to 50?
I'm above that, yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you think public schools should be allowed to begin each day with a prayer if they so choose?
I didn't hear you. Let me get up.
Do you believe public schools should be allowed to begin each day with a prayer if they so choose?
I don't think so, no.
Do you think the government has a responsibility to offer health care to all its citizens?
Yes.
Do you believe an individual should be responsible for their own well-being, so the government should make welfare recipients go to work?
Say it again?
If an individual is being offered welfare, do you believe that the government should make them go to work?
Yes.
Do you believe large corporations and wealthy individuals should pay a larger burden on federal tax?
Yes.
Do you believe marijuana use should be illegal in every state, even for medicinal use?
Illegal or legal?
Illegal.
No, I believe it should be legal.
All right.
For medicinal, not
That's
for,
it?
not, yeah, not
All
for
right.
anything else.
All right, that's it. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah,
great. You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much.
Thank you.
Just first off, are you under the age of 21?
Yes, I am.
All right. Do you think public schools should be allowed to begin each day with a prayer if they so choose?
Yes.
Do you think the government has a responsibility to offer health care to all citizens?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe an individual should be responsible for their own well-being? So should the government make welfare recipients go to work?
I'm gonna say yes.
Alright. Do you believe large corporations and wealthy individuals should pay a larger burden of federal tax?
No.
Alright. Do you believe marijuana use should be illegal in every state, even if it's for medical use?
No.
Alright. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you for your
Yeah.
time.
Thanks. we attended the Community Relations Board on 11/4/15. It was at City Hall. The Community Relations Board is basically they involve citizens to be active.
Yeah.
They're like the liaison, or like they
Unite.
They unite, yeah, the people and like the city council. They also host events, and they have a Good Citizens Award. They are nominated into their position, and the head of the council is nominated into their position, and all the rest are volunteers.
Yeah.
And then touching about the Good Citizens Award, that was just like basically an award given to obviously a citizen in Wheaton that demonstrated or like did an act that helped out the community in such a way. And they said that, like, what was it, 2 years ago? It was a high schooler, right?
Yeah.
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 It was a girl from Bennett. She was teaching mothers of students who are from foreign countries. She was teaching them how to cook American food, so their kids, you know, they wanted to eat a cheeseburger, they wanted to eat some fries or French fries, but
Yeah, so
French,
it's just
but
something.
whatever. But they, you know, she wanted to teach mothers from different countries how to cook American food, and so she, in her free time, she taught a class with a bunch of, you know, mothers, teaching them how to make a burger and that kind of stuff. And so she won. Someone nominated her, and she won the Good Citizen
And
Award.
that's crazy because it's just something small, like inviting some people into your house to teach them how to cook.
Yeah.
But it just goes so far.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
It's
cool.
just a huge impact on people.
Yeah. And there's Student Citizenship Award, and there's like an Adult Citizenship Award.
Yeah.
So you can sign up. I think they have forms on their website.
Yeah, it's on the website.
Yeah.
Some other things they did, they adopted 850 troops. They adopted the 1st Division,
Big
which
Red
means
One.
Big Red One, which means they basically supply them with like anything they need, like blankets or food. And when they come home, they welcome them, and they also help out their families when they're gone.
And then that kind of ties into, we'll touch on it a little bit, but they have a Christmas project where they, you know, they give their a gift to each of the soldiers in the Big Red One that they're tied and connected with, and so that's a big project that they're really high on and they really love to do every year. So we'll go into that in a little bit, but we can just, you know, there's a couple more tasks that they have.
I guess also with that, they were like they try to think of things that they can send off to them. Like last year they sent them a deck of cards with a Big Red One on the back.
Yeah.
So they just look for things that the soldiers can really use. It's light and that's like effective to.
It's gonna be memorable.
Yeah.
They're gonna like use it and actually cherish it and view it as important and not just use it and throw it away. So.
Yeah, and one time it wasn't even a Christmas thing. You know, I think every year they give them like T-shirts or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this year there was like workout T-shirts that they all
with like the Wheaton community logo on it.
Or whatever,
And then in City Hall, they have a picture of all the soldiers wearing the shirt, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah. They start off the meeting by talking about cultural diversity, which is an event that they were going to host, and they were trying to decide between the library or the memorial park, and they decided to postpone their decision because they didn't know yet if they could host at the memorial park or the library, or if anything was conflicting.
And they also talked about like they were gonna like both people that were in charge of those venues offered them a spot, saying, here, you can do it here.
Yeah.
And then they talked about, oh, we're probably gonna have to turn down so and so from Memorial Park because they wanted to do it at the library, I think. So they talked about that a little bit too. And that was a big day for them, and they had some other like important days too that they run and organize. Let's see.
Talking about their budget, they had they had $3,000 given to them by City Hall, and then they had other money that they got for just donations
Yeah.
by citizens. They take $400 of that 3,000 and give it to the good citizen, the person
Yeah.
that wins the good citizen award, and they use 2,000 of it to spend on events that they host, like Christmas sharing or cultural diversity or Make a Difference Day. And it sounded like their budget was actually a lot less than I thought it would be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of money to spend, and like for the things that they want to be able to give to like their military,
Yeah.
their troops, they didn't. A lot of it was talking about like what's the most effective, cheapest way we can get it to them, but also needs to be something memorable. So
Just
I think
tough.
they're put in a tough position because they don't have the money to do something really nice, but.
And they were talking about, you know, like, they were gonna buy like $2 stuff, and it
Yeah.
would still add up to like $1,500 or like 1,600 because they have to buy stuff for 800 soldiers.
Yeah. Right.
And so that like pretty much cuts a huge dent in their budget, and they can't really do much else. So that kind of leads to like the events that they do have and the days that they do plan. Even though there might not be a ton of them, like they're really significant to them, and they're really like proud of what they do. So that's pretty significant to them.
Next, they talk about the banners that they put around Wheaton, which are just like the Christmas banners.
Yeah, the Dickens.
Yeah,
yeah.
and they have they found the company,
Yeah.
which was really nice.
Mhm.
They used them last year. It cost City Hall. They didn't have to use their personal fund.
Yeah.
It cost City Hall about $3,500. And they said they were nice. They had little holes in them, so when the wind came through, it wouldn't tear the banners.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice.
And they said it was thick and it was just nice quality.
Yeah.
They also talked about Make a Difference Day, which they had at the schools. They said that it was a bad turnout, or
Yeah.
the one guy.
They said it was like pretty much a failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he would have liked to see a better turnout.
And that's one of the ways he said he wanted to, in order to get a better turnout, he wanted to get the high schools involved, and he basically like asked
He's
us,
asking us.
Yeah, he was asking us, they're like, what's the best way? Who do I contact? What do I do? Because we need a better turnout, and they realized that going through the high schools was the best way and the most like direct way to do it.
Because you know you got kids like
appeal to the most like citizens, I guess, in one area. So that was pretty cool.
And you know they were talking about you know like Matt said, but they're asking the best way to contact those in charge and people who you know they can turn to give volunteer hours and help them out with their days they organize. And so we told them, you know, you can go talk to Mrs. Nellis, the activities director there. We said that they could go talk to her. And we also talked about, you know, Key Club was another one that we said would be a good idea because they were looking to volunteer and get volunteer hours. So, you know, we just gave them a couple different options for them how to get involved with the high school. We talked about social media too, just kind of getting out there to kids. So we gave them a couple good ideas for how to get involved with high schoolers, and we thought it'd be a really good idea because high school kids, you know, for jobs and college applications, looking for a ton of volunteer opportunities. So we thought it'd be a really good idea to get them in touch with high school kids and leaders.
And they never thought about grabbing from that resource like high schools.
Yeah, they were really surprised.
They never realized that like the kids need volunteer hours for their key club groups or for their
and for honor societies.
National Honor Society, and we kind of opened that for them. We gave them a couple emails of people who were in charge of their groups. And so I think we might be seeing like volunteer options for them soon.
Yeah, I think they're gonna start email. We gave them some of our emails, us and the other group that was there, and I think they're gonna start contacting us and wanting us to help them out, which, you know, I'm probably up for. You know, it's good volunteer stuff. So yeah, but I hope that, you know, what we help them out with for high school kids can, you know, benefit what they're trying to do and what they're trying to organize. So
And it sounded like they mostly needed help with Stuff a Box Day, which was their Christmas sharing event. And it was basically you come and you bring like anything, like any like used toys or
And
any
you just
like
put 'em
new
in
toys,
it.
and you just
Yeah.
everybody like stuffs a box and you all wrap.
And they put them in a big truck.
Yeah,
That was another thing they said didn't turn out too well.
Yeah, they said like stuff a box, stuff a truck. They referred to like different names, but they said it wasn't as successful as they would have hoped. And so that's another thing that they wanted to.
And that was a lot of they couldn't get the word out there. They didn't.
And yeah, they said it's just hard for them.
And that's
to,
why they wanted to get with the high schools.
Because they thought that high school kids, they just want to get as many like donations and helpers as possible, and so we thought that high schoolers would be some more good candidates for that, which was a pretty good idea too.
Overall, the Community Relations Board does a lot for the community that I never really even know.
I had no
like
idea.
they're in charge of all the banners we can put up. They have the Make a Difference Day, all the Stuff a Box stuff. They even like all the stuff that they do for our troop that we had adopted is really awesome. Like I didn't know that they did that.
Yeah.
And we told them we thought it was awesome, but we just never knew about it, and we encouraged them to get public. And get known. 'Cause what they do is just pretty sweet.
Yeah. And it's volunteer. Those were all volunteers, and they were the nicest people. They were so happy we were there. We walked in, and they were just kind of wow, we got visitors, and it was pretty awesome to know that they're actually happy that we were there, whereas they could have been oh, there's people
and
here.
it's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. None of us really knew what they did.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, for sure.
But they still are happy about their job, happy, not job, but they're volunteering, but they're happy about what they're doing, and they go into a positive attitude. So
Yeah,
absolutely.
And it was just really cool to see that all the different impacts that they have on different people and different, especially the soldiers. That was just awesome, and helping out they were asking us about toys to give to their families, and we were talking to them about those Matchbox cars and just different toys that teenagers or younger kids would like. So it was just really cool to see that people who that's not their whole job, but they just put in their extra time that they don't need to, and just to help other people and just grow a closer knit community and just help them out. It's just really cool to see that people actually out there that don't only care about themselves and want to volunteer and help out others, which is awesome.
Yeah, none of them are paid.
Yeah,
Which is pretty cool too.
it's just all themselves and wanting to provide service and support for their community, which is just awesome, and you don't get a lot of that nowadays. All right, thanks for watching.